What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today we are going to talk a little bit about movement. So it's actually been a little hard for me to parse out how to talk about neutrals, so I've been trying to chunk it up into little pieces that are easy to explain. So the first thing I want to talk about is movement, and the way I want to do that is rather than talk about movement itself, because everyone kind of moves differently, no one really moves the exact same. What I want to do is tell you things that everybody does that helps with movement in Dragon Ball. So the one thing about movement in general is that because it's such a fundamental part of the game and it's something that everyone does and everyone does differently, people tend to overlook the fact that movement has intent as well, even though you're doing it all the time. You're doing it all the time. Now, in Dragon Ball specifically, there are certain ways you can move that can reduce the risk of you getting hit by certain stuff and give you more time to react. So that's where we are going to start. The first thing we're going to talk about is backdash. So backdash, pretty straightforward. You tap back twice and you slide backwards. No invincibility. 15 frame total duration, as you can see by the frame data right there. The thing is, the main thing that people use backdash for is actually to give themselves more time to see super dash. This is something we talked about before. When you are backdashing, the super dash has to track you, so when you backdash, it will take more time. So here it says 34 frames, right? So when you backstep, it's kind of hard to show here right timing. Okay, you get a little bit more time to react. So you get to reposition and see what they're doing at the same time. The backdash is also really, really fast, so you can slip away from way more moves than you think, even though it's not invincible. So you could use it to kind of just, if someone lands near you and tries to whip a button, you can slip away. But a nice, easy application here would be to backdash to hit super dashes. You can simultaneously reposition yourself and hit super dash at the same time. Very, very, very important. When you see people do multiple backdashes in a match, they are literally looking for super dash. You can flip it on them. When you see somebody backdashing away from you, you should be thinking, oh, this guy is either repositioning or looking for super dash. Straight up. You can also do it in the reverse. So when people are running, specifically, let's say someone's jumping, right? So you see this a lot in matches too. You'll see people do something like this. Whoops, it's on random. There we go. You see people do something like this. Why? So the answer is if somebody does this. So of course that super dash looks pretty close, right? But if you run under them, the super dash has to track you. So you can actually outrun the super dash, and because you're running under, the game will treat it as if you're blocking because you're holding forward, which would be now back. So when you're running under, you see it, it has to follow you, and you can hit it. It's another way to move safely and avoid getting hit by super dash at the same time. This leads us to our next one, which is also ID back. So similar to backstep and run under, this is another movement pattern that lets you see what they're doing and lets you beat super dash at the same time. So let's have the bot try to hit me. Whoops, I was not backdashing, my bad. Oh wait, this is one I don't use a lot. There you go. Right. So in active matches, when you see this, so basically, outside of the outright, the super dash will take a little bit longer to come thing. Oh, I'm extra bad at this today. There we go. So outside of that, there's also, and let's have Android 21 do it actually. The main thing about this is, so besides of course, the super dash will take longer to get you, the screen is going to be dragged back, which helps you. When somebody runs up, you will automatically drag the screen back, so you can maintain your full screen positioning. Full screen positioning is pretty good in this game. You have your full screen key blast, which is super advantageous. If you have full screen assist like beams, you can use them very safely from this range. And of course, you're moving back, so you have time to see what the opponent's doing. So if you're moving backwards like this, and they're dashing, let's say you do like 2, by at least the second one, you should see the other guy running at you, and then you can pick what to do. Are you going to call your assist? Are you going to do an air move? Are you going to super dash? Whatever. The opponent running at you as opposed to running under you is a more risky movement. Why? Because first of all, there's not a lot of assists that go up. Very few. There's just basically dragon punches like Gohan's and GT's and SSJ, not SSJ Vegeta, base Vegeta, Trunks. There's not a lot of stuff in the game that goes up as an assist. When they run at you, when you move backwards, say, right, the super dash will take longer to reach, right? Let's do this again. The super dash takes longer to reach here, but when they run at you, the super dash gets faster. So when they're running at you, super dash gets better and better the more they approach you, and super dash gets worse and worse the more they move away from you. So if you are moving like this, well, there we go. So if you are retreating like this, then when they run at you, they are indirectly making you stronger. They're making you make a choice, but it's harder for them to react to what you do because you're moving closer to them. The last movement pattern you can use to kind of like help you move safely without taking risks is super jump float. This is my least favorite thing in the game, as I said in other videos. I really hate float, but it's also very, very strong when you use it the right way. Why is float so good? So, first of all, you are airborne longer. Jumping is good in this game. Second of all, it gives you more time to confirm what's going on. Third of all, you can vary your movement. You can move forward, you can move back, so you can adjust yourself. It's very hard to hit. There's not a lot of good anti-airs in this game, so let's say if someone doing this is different than someone doing this is different than someone doing this is different than someone doing super jump fastball. Like, using float and doing either this or call your assist, there's a lot of things you can do when you're floating, and it's very, very difficult for the opponent to deal with it unless they have very specific responses to it. They would need to like super dash, DP, call GT at a certain timing, jump up there and do a special move and catch you. And of course, the thing it has in common and everything else is the usual. When you're floating, you can beat super dash really easily. So these movement patterns, right? Using backstep, running under them, ID back, and float. What they all have in common is something I mentioned before about characters. It lets you play neutral without having to worry about super dash too much. And like I said before, you can flip it. I don't know why I did this with my hands, but you can flip it and use it against the opponent. So what I mean is, yeah, you can use this against like them super dashing at you, them moving at you really aggressively, stuff like that. But when the opponent is doing it, you know what they're looking for. When they're floating, you know they're looking for you to super dash. When they're backdashing, you know they're looking for you to super dash. When they run under you, you know they're looking for super dash there. They're looking to move while taking low risk movement and hit super dash at the same time. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about that stuff. There's definitely like a little nuance, like I said, like not just using the movement that's shown in this video, but identifying when other people do it and knowing what they're looking for. That is like kind of the nuanced point in that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.